everyone, my name is Kirsty from the Kirsty Way and welcome to your yoga class today. So we'll be going through a fairly short and sweet warrior sequence. So lots of standing postures for us today. And we'll be finding sort of a balance between the holds and the flow. So we'll be getting some of both. So if you are feeling a little bit low on energy, then this is a great class for you to boost yourself up. And alternatively, if you've got loads of energy, then this is also a great class for you to burn some of that energy out. So we will start seated today. And immediately we'll find this embodiment of the warrior. So just closing the eyes or lowering the gaze and grounding down through the tailbone, through the roots. And then we'll rise up through the spine. And imagine someone has attached a string from the crown of your head and is pulling you up towards the sky. And we'll drop the shoulders away from the ears here. And we'll soften through the face, so between the eyebrows and the jaw. And we'll begin to find our breath. And in our sequence today, of course, we'll be focusing on strength. But can we also find the softness within the strength? And of course, there will be effort. But can we also find the ease within the effort? And it's this dance between the masculine and the feminine. Strength and softness, effort and ease. Finding our way into harmony and equilibrium through this dance. And before we go into our physical practice, we'll just begin with some pranayama to help to build the heat in the body, to help to switch the core on, to ignite that inner fire. So we'll breathe sharply in through the nose and sharply out through the nose. And we'll go for 30 and then we'll hold the breath in at the top. We'll breathe out and we'll hold at the bottom. So let's go together for 30. Breathe in, hold at the top. We'll hold for 5. Pull the energy up to the crown of the head for 4. Notice any sensations through the body for 3. We'll keep holding for 2. And on our last breath out, we'll open through the mouth and breathe out. And hold at the bottom of the breath for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then find your natural breath again. Good, rubbing the palms together to generate some heat. And then just taking a rub of the face with those warm hands, of the shoulders, the arms, almost like you're giving yourself a full body wash. The hands, the belly, the chest, the back. And then uncross the legs and just take those hands over the legs to the feet. And the opposite leg, making sure we get the feet here. So just stimulating all of the fascia, the muscles, the tissues. Good. And coming onto our hands and our knees, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Spread the fingers out nice and wide. And we'll find our way into our cat-cows here. So taking an inhale to arch through the spine, lift the tailbone, the heart, the gaze. Exhale to round the spine, gaze between the legs, press the tops of the feet against the earth and press the earth away. Breath in to your cow, arch the spine. And breath out to your cat, round the spine, pull the navel to the spine. Find your breath. Movement ripples from the lower back. The gaze always comes last. And you know that I encourage any wiggles, any side to sides, anything that feels good for your body today. And as always, anything that I suggest in class today is just a suggestion. If you need to take a child's pose, or if you want to take a child's pose, not even need, then tune in and honor your body. Because that is also the strength of our inner warrior. Empowerment is not just about that physical strength. It's about the honoring of what we need and of making those choices that are the most empowering for us in this moment. And coming back to center, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, downward facing dog. Have a pedal out of the knees here. Maybe a shake or a nod of the head. Bringing a beginner's mind to your downward facing dog. And then let's start to tippy toe the feet up to the top of the mat. Bend through the knees, bring the belly to the thighs and drip the head down towards the mat. Maybe we want a bit of a swish and a sway here just to loosen out the lower back. But the feet and the legs stay strong. So this is our stability, this is our support. And this allows the upper body to be free and fluid. Coming back to center, pressing through the feet, rising through the spine for 3. Vertebrae by vertebrae for 2. And 1, taking a big inhale to reach up through the fingertips. And exhale to bring the hands down towards the heart. Finding our way into mountain posture at the front of the mat. Feet hips width apart or big toes touching, palms facing forward, wrap the shoulders back, stand tall here in your mountain. Embody the mountain. Breathe in from the roots to the feet, up the legs, up the spine, to the crown of the head. And as we exhale, breathe back down from the crown of the head all the way down to the feet, down into the roots. On our next inhale, reach the fingertips up towards the sky. We'll move through our Surya Namaskar. And on our exhale, hinge from the hips, take your forward fold. Inhale, fingertips to shins, flat back. Exhale, bend the knees, step back to plank. Drop the knees, hug the elbows into the sides of the body as we slowly lower down onto the belly and the chest. Next, inhale, come into your Sphinx pose, forearms to the ground, pull the elbows back, fingertips face forward. Exhale, gaze over towards the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale back to center. Good. Press into the forearms, tuck the toes. Coming into your forearm plank. And we can drop the knees here if that feels better for us. Squeeze the glutes and we'll hold for 3. Press out of the shoulders for 2. And 1, come to meet on the palms. Lift the hips up, back, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts on our inhale. Exhale, step that right foot between the hands, drop the back knee. Inhale, reaching up through the fingertips. And Jayanasana. Exhale, frame the front foot. Meet in plank. And we'll take our chaturanga, coming forward on the toes, either dropping the knees or staying in full plank, lowering down. Taking your inhale to your Sphinx, Cobra, or upward facing dog. Exhale to tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, slow and controlled, step that left foot in between the hands. Take your inhale to reach up through the fingertips, rise through the spine. Exhale to frame the front foot, stepping back to plank. Optional vinyasa, coming forward on the toes, elbows hug in. Inhale to your back bend of choice. And exhale to your downward facing dog. Breathe in here, pressing the heart back towards the thighs, pressing out of the shoulders. And pressing down through the heels. So we've got this nice long line of energy from the fingertips all the way up to the top of the hips, and the top of the hips down towards the heels. Finding stillness and finding your breath. Beautiful. When we are ready, bend the knees, either step or hop to the front of the mat. Take your inhale to your flat back, pull the hips back, the heart forward. Exhale to forward fold. Press through the feet to rise through the spine for 3, 2, 1. Inhale to reach up through the fingertips. And exhale, we'll come straight back down. Hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. And exhale, either step or hop back to plank, landing in your chaturanga, soft elbows. Inhale to your cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts towards the ceiling. Open the hip here, yawn that hip open, knee towards the sky. Exhale. Inhale to square the hips. Exhale, the right knee comes towards the right elbow. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale to step that right foot through. Drop the back knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, lift through the fingertips. Good. Exhale, frame this front foot. Step the right foot over towards the right hand side into our lizard lunge and just have a roll around in the hips here. Taking the circles one way and the opposite way. Option to lift that back knee for a little bit more space. Good. Coming back to center, pressing into the palms, stepping back to plank, and lowering down onto the belly and the chest. This time, send the fingertips back. Take the feet hips width apart, point the toes. As we take our inhale, lift the chest, lift the feet, send the fingertips back. Exhale to release down. Inhale, everything lifts, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, release. Last time, inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Press the hands into the sides of the chest. Inhale to your back bend of choice. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts towards the sky. Open the hip, find some stillness here. Press into both of the palms. Inhale, square the hips.
Exhale, left knee to the left elbow. Tap. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left knee to the right elbow. Tap. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left foot in between the hands. Drop the back knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, lifting fingertips to the sky. Exhale to frame the front foot. Step that left foot over to the left. Hands on the inside of the foot. Maybe we tuck the back toes to lift the back knee and find these circles here. Good, so we're moving fairly quickly here. So make sure you take these moments to find your breath, to reconnect. Taking those circles the opposite way. Coming back to center, pressing into the palms, stepping back to plank, downward facing dog on your exhale. And then let's take that step, hop or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale to your flat back. Exhale to your forward fold. Press through the feet to rise through the spine for 3, 2, 1. Take your inhale to reach up. And your exhale to bring the palms down towards the heart, bringing that energy back towards the heart. Finding your way into your mountain posture at the front of the mat. And just placing one hand on the belly here and one hand on the heart. And noticing what is alive for you in this moment. Maybe noticing the temperature of the skin. Maybe the quickness of the breath. Or maybe you can feel the heart rate has increased. And then dropping into those more subtle layers of the body. Where are the energy levels? Where is the mind? Is it fully absorbed in the practice? And it's okay if it's not. Where is your awareness? Can we drop behind the mind, drop behind the sensations, and just be that witness? Beautiful. Release the hands, open the eyes. And we'll come to find our warrior sequence. And this is where we're going to hold for a few breaths with each posture. And then the next time we'll flow through. So let's take our feet hips width apart, spread the toes and find the arches of the feet, the inner arches, that lift of the inner arches. And then sinking into the heels, reaching the arms forward and finding our chair pose. Okay, we can have options in our chair pose. We can stay with the arms reaching forward. If this is too much, we can have the hands at the heart or down by the sides of the body. And just notice here whether you feel like you've got your bum sticking out loads. And if so, maybe try that little bit of a tuck. However, some people naturally have that tuck anyway. So when we use the cue, tuck your tailbone, it doesn't actually ring, it's not actually relevant for every single person. So just notice where you are with the tailbone, with the tilt of the pelvis. We sort of want to come to that neutral pelvis. Okay, we're going to be here for a few more breaths. So instead of focusing on the burning of the thighs, can we focus on another part of the body that feels a little bit less on fire? Even if though that is the tips of the fingers. So bringing all the attention to the tips of the fingers. And then to the breath.
And for our last 3 breaths, can we sink any lower and just be that witness, be that observer, seeing if we can detach from the sensations that may be going on in the legs and just watch with curiosity. Last breath. And exhale, forward fold. Nice job.
Inhale to your flat back.
And exhale, bend the knees.
Step or hop back to your chaturanga.
Inhale to your back bend.
And exhale to downward facing dog. Right leg lifts on the inhale. And exhale, bring that right knee towards the nose and hold. Press the earth away, create that space. Right leg lifts on the inhale. And exhale, stepping the right foot in between the hands, spinning the back foot 45 degrees as we find our way into our warrior one, sinking into the front knee, reaching up through the fingertips. And ideally our hips want to be facing forward here. However, for some people that really puts a lot of pressure and tension on the back knee. So if you feel that bringing that left hip forward then sort of crunches the knee, then just feel free to have a more open left hip. Can we press into the back little toe? Can we tuck the ribs so we're not flaring through the ribs? Finding the strength of your warrior one, your Virabhadrasana one. Beautiful. Let's clasp the hands behind the back. We'll find our way into humble warrior, taking an inhale to open through the chest, the shoulders, and an exhale to bring the right shoulder on the inside of the right knee. Drip the crown of the head down towards the earth and press the knuckles up towards the sky. Use the glutes here and the inner thighs squeezing towards each other to find your stability. Release the clasp of the hands, take an inhale back to your warrior one. And exhale, spin the back foot flat, sink into your warrior two. So just gaze towards that front knee, make sure it's tracking towards the little toes rather than falling in. And I remember getting told that in our warrior two, the back hand represents our past, the front hand represents our future, and us right here with our heart, with our soul, are right in the center. So we don't want to be leaning one way or the other. Finding your stillness in your center in warrior two. Last breath. And then that right elbow comes towards the right thigh, reaching over with the left, opening through the left chest and spinning the left ribs towards the ceiling. Next, inhale back to warrior two. And exhale, flip the front palm to the ceiling, raise it up, reverse warrior. Either let the left fingertips drip down the left leg, or we can take the left hand behind the back over towards the right hip. Lengthening through the spine, through the right side body, and keeping that bend in the front knee. We can gaze up towards the fingertips or down towards the floor. And almost with the feet, have that feeling that the feet are spreading apart. Stay breathing. Next inhale comes back to warrior two. Exhale, release the palms, turn the feet out, the toes out, the heels in. Technically not a warrior, but that's okay. Reaching out to our 5-pointed star on our inhale. And exhale into our goddess.
So present the heart, cactus the arms, bend through the knees and roll out through the thighs. Find the softness in the strength and the ease within the effort. Last 3 breaths, can we sink any lower? Nice work. Straightening through the legs, back into our warrior 2. Spin the palms down to frame the front foot, step back to plank, and take your vinyasa. We'll meet in our downward facing dog. And we'll come straight to the opposite side, left leg lifts on the inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, hold it here, create that space, press the ground away. Breath in, left leg lifts. And breath out, step that left foot in between the hands, spin the back foot 45 degrees as we find our way into our warrior 1. So typical alignment here is that front heel is aligned with the back arch. However, this doesn't work for everyone. Some might prefer to have the legs a little bit wider. And again, try and tuck those ribs in rather than having that flare out. Can we keep the gaze steady, the breath steady, and notice the effect that this has on the mind and the body? Next breath in, we'll clasp the hands behind the back or the little finger on top as we open through the chest, the shoulders, and breath out, humble warrior. Left shoulder on the inside of the left knee. Try not to make it too much into a twist, trying to level the shoulders out as the head reaches down towards the ground. Release the clasp of the hands, taking an inhale to your warrior 1. And an exhale to your warrior 2. Spin the back foot flat, bending into the front knee. Arms out, palms down. Energy forward and back. Grounding down through the feet and rising up through the spine, through the crown of the head. Last breath, we are building our resilience here. When the mind says we can no longer hold, we are actually capable of so much more. Beautiful, the left elbow will come to the left thigh, reaching over with the right side angle as we spin the right ribs up towards the sky. Breath in to warrior 2. Breath out to flip the front palm, reverse warrior. Take your option with that right hand, either dripping it down the back leg or taking it behind the back to the left hip. Inhaling back to your warrior 2. And exhale, straighten the front leg. This time, we'll turn the toes slightly in towards each other. Clasp the hands behind the back, push the knuckles away. Inhale. Exhale to your forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. Knuckles up towards the ceiling. And just find that release down towards the ground. Activate the feet so it feels like we have a towel underneath the feet and we're trying to spread the towel apart.
Releasing the hands, placing them on the hips, coming up with a nice straight spine, back to standing.
Finding your way back to your warrior two.
And then framing the front foot. We'll take your vinyasa to meet in our downward facing dog. And when we arrive, bend the knees. Take a step or a hop to the front of the mat. Take your inhale to your flat back and your exhale to your forward fold. Bending through the knees, finding our way into chair. Don't worry, we're not going to hold for a million breaths this time. Inhale to reach up through the fingertips. And this time we'll take a flowing chair, so exhale, bend into the heels, throw the hands back, breathe out through the mouth. Inhale to reach. Exhale, let it go. 3 more. Use the breath. Last time. Chair pose, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. We'll find our flow. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step or hop into your chaturanga, soft elbows. Inhale to your upward facing dog or cobra or sphinx. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts on the inhale. Exhale, knee to the right elbow, to the left, right, left, right, left. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, step that right foot through, spin the back foot 45 degrees, warrior one on the inhale. Exhale to clasp the hands behind the back. Inhale to open. Exhale, humble warrior. So exactly the same sequence, just flowing through. Inhale, release the clasp of the hands back to our warrior one. Exhale, warrior two, spin the back foot flat. Inhale, right elbow to the right thigh, reach over with the left. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, raise it to the ceiling, reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Release the hands. Inhale, 5-pointed star, toes out, heels in. Exhale to goddess. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale to goddess. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale to goddess. Last time, inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale to goddess. Nice work. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, high lunge. Bring the hands towards the heart. Bring the left knee to the chest. Good. Okay, we can either stay here, finding some balance, or we can begin to find a tip forward of the heart, a reach back through the left leg, an awareness of the spine, trying to keep the spine straight, flex that left foot, and we can keep the hands at the heart, or we can find our full warrior three by reaching the arms forward, biceps hug the ears, finding your breath here, leveling out the hips, and we've got the energy in all the different directions, grounding through that bottom foot, coming forward through the crown of the head, back through the back foot. We've got one more breath, and exhale back into your high lunge. Nice work, moving through your vinyasa, and we'll meet in our downward facing dog. So warrior three is one that I very, very rarely practice, and I know exactly why it is. It's because it's so uncomfortable, but this is tapas. This is tapping into that inner fire, the link between our will and our actions, and doing things that may not feel comfortable, but that we know are good for us. This is what builds our resilience, stepping beyond our comfort zone. Okay, side number 2, left leg lifts on the inhale. Exhale, left knee to the left elbow, to the right, left, right, left, right. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step it in between the hands. Spin the back foot 45 degrees. Inhale to your warrior one. Exhale to clasp the hands behind the back.
Inhale to open up through the chest, through the shoulders. Exhale, humble warrior.
Inhale straight back into our warrior one. Exhale to your warrior two. Inhale to side angle, left elbow to the left thigh, reaching right. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale, flip the front palm, reverse warrior. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale, release the hands, straighten through the legs, toes in towards each other. Inhale, reach out through the clasp of the hands. Exhale, Prasarita Padottanasana, folding forward. One breath in, one breath out. Release the clasp of the hands to the hips. Inhale straight back as we come up.
Exhale to warrior two. Good. Oh no, we're coming into high lunge actually. We almost forgot our warrior three. Good. Hands towards the heart. We'll step onto this left leg, right knee to the chest. Either staying here or finding our way into our warrior three, kicking back through this right leg, straightening through the spine, leveling the hips. So the right hip might want to open. Just turn it down towards the ground and choose where we want to be with the hands, maybe at the heart, maybe sending the fingertips back, or maybe we reach the arms forward. And we stay for 3. Steady breath, steady mind. For 2, feel the discomfort and be the observer. 1 more breath. Good. Back into our high lunge. Inhale. And exhale. Frame the front foot. Step back to plank. Meet in our downward facing dog. 1 last chaturanga. And actually, we'll drop the knees. Widen the knees apart. And we will meet in our child's pose. Finding this experience of full ease now as we begin to lengthen the breath, to let our bodies know that the hard work is done. And to integrate the benefits of our practice by just giving ourselves a couple of moments to fully rest. And asking yourself off the mat if there's any way that when you're doing these tasks that feel difficult and effortful and challenging, if there's any way that you can bring some softness and some ease into these difficult moments. And that might be just finding 1 easy breath. Or a moment where we find a break between the thoughts of daily life. Or we find a softening in our bodies. Or a kind word towards ourselves. How can we bring what we have practiced on the mat today off the mat into our daily lives? And we'll take a final breath here. And exhale out through the mouth, just letting it all go. Finding your way back to seated whenever you are ready. Or taking a Shavasana and letting yourself rest completely. We'll bring the hands towards the heart, close the eyes, and then the thumbs between the eyebrows to acknowledge the power of our thoughts and our mind. The thumbs to the throat to acknowledge the power of our words, our voice, and our truth. And the thumbs to the heart space to acknowledge this sacred part of ourselves and the power of the love that is inside of us and that is present all around us. Big breath in and big breath out. I bow my head in gratitude to each and every one of you. Namaste.